Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I wanted to talk to you about my Advanced Warfare wish list. E3 is right around the corner. They're going to have a booth set up. I'm assuming it's going to be single player, but probably some in-game single player. We do know that Optic Nadeshot and Rambo NV got to go to Sledgehammer Games in San Francisco and play around with the multiplayer a little bit, doing some esports something or another, and they said it's really positive looking. They're really happy about it, and I just kind of wanted to talk about the things that I'm interested in or what I think would make it a great game. The gameplay that you're seeing is me playing with a K7 SMG Spectrum camo on the map Bayview. Unfortunately, on the other team, there are 3 of my subscribers. They recognize me. We've been playing hard games before. They promised me they were going to beat me this game. They know my gameplay. They know my tactics, and it's really kind of tough to play against people that are hunting you, but I managed to drop a 50 bomb, got over 10 captures, and we barely squeak out this victory. Excellent, excellent gameplay all around. But let's get into the wish list. I feel like I've killed enough time. The number one thing I want after playing Ghost, and well, Black Ops 2 was also a little bit rough, especially when it came out, is I want good spawns. And by good spawns, I mean I want safe spawns. I don't want to spawn and be looking at somebody. I don't want to spawn in front of somebody. I don't want to spawn into aiming down sights. I don't want to spawn and have a grenade roll on me. I don't want to spawn and take 2 steps and step over an IED. I don't want to spawn into an explosion or under a helicopter or anything like that. And it's kind of tough, especially on smaller maps, because you can spawn and head to a hot zone and get back into the action in 2 or 3 seconds flat. And to some extent, the spawns and the maps in general are made this way so that you can get back into the action quickly and you can, like, keep that adrenaline going, and it's always a fast-paced game. But unfortunately, the enemy can also kind of predict where you're going to be popping up, and it's just spawn, die, spawn, die, spawn, die, live, rinse, and repeat, like kind of like the movie Edge of Tomorrow. We just die over and over again, and it's not very fun. So I would prefer slower-paced, safer spawns if it were me, but I'm not a game developer, so we'll see how that pans out. I would really like to see a League play or League of Legends style ranking system. The League play I really got into toward the end of Black Ops 2. I hated it when the game first came out. I thought it was the most garbage, but I got into it, I started playing it, and I ended up really enjoying playing League play, so something like that would be great. I just like grinding for real ranks, real competition, really important matches, less quitting, better players, that sort of stuff. Or maybe something kind of akin to the League of Legends ranking system, which I would say that the Black Ops 2 League play was very much so like the League of Legends ranking system. That's another thing that I spent an abnormal amount of time on, and I really enjoy it. It's addictive, and I like it, and a lot of other people like it too. It helps League be successful, so I think that would be something cool to bring back. Another thing that the game has going for it is that we finally have a new engine, or at least they claim it's a new engine. I haven't seen it yet, but the claim this time around is no more ID Tech 3. They're rocking some completely new, completely different engine that's going to be able to make the game perform better, and to my ears that means no more gameplay tied to frames per second, no more people being able to be advantage or disadvantage on PC due to frame drops, no more weird things happening on console due to frame drops. And also, the engine is in some way responsible for the lag in the game. I'm going to try not to get down to the details of it, but it has to do with the frames and how it thinks, etc., etc. With the new engine, we might be able to mitigate lag better. That doesn't mean it's going to be perfectly lag-free or anything like that, but it might be better, and that's something that I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for less weirdness with the engine, though that might be pie in the sky because, like I said, this is a new engine. This is the first game this engine has ever been used on, and it's not well-tested, not field-tested, and hasn't had players go and screw around with it, so it might actually be worse, but it is still a step in the right direction. We'll try to be positive about it instead of just assuming that it's garbage right off the bat. On my personal end of things, I really like games that have balanced weapons and have relatively quick patches for weapon balance, and a lot of people give Ghost a lot of flack for being worst Call of Duty game ever, or this is bad and this is bad, but they've been really spot on with the weapons. Excellent weapon balance, very quick patching, rebalancing, and overall it's been very good. There haven't been weapons that have been OP, or at least not for very long, and they've been pretty attentive to the community and patched them up, I'd say a couple of weeks, a month or 2 at most. It's been pretty solid. Opinions, other people's opinions aside, mine has been pretty good, so something like that I would really appreciate. A little bit less maybe of this kind of just soaking up bullets and then quickscoping me. I guess I did deserve to die because he had a ballistic vest, but it does drive me crazy. No overpowered equipment is going to be a big one for me. The overpowered equipment in this game in Ghost was obviously the IED. You just stick them to the ceiling or stick them anywhere. It's like the guaranteed kill. People thought bouncing Bettys were annoying before, but you could run past them or you could duck or something. The IEDs kill me like crazy. Claymore's easy to dodge. But you forget that Black Ops 2 also had a very frustrating and overpowered piece of equipment called the, what was it? Was it the Shock Charge? It was those little shock sticks you could throw and stick to the ceiling or to the wall or pretty much anywhere, and it would electrify you. It was like a concussion grenade, except it was more like a concussion claymore. And when the game came out, pros chunked them everywhere before they were banned. They were all over public matches. Even when I still play, people are chunking those things and sticking them to the ceiling. Very frustrating. I don't think that's a fair piece of equipment to have just based on the sheer power of that equipment. I personally never thought equipment should be as important as the overall gunplay, but again, I'm not a developer, these decisions are not up to me, but just something that keeps the game moving at a reasonable pace. Stuns, flashes, all that sort of stuff, claymores, betties, even gas grenades or smoke grenades aren't as bad. They are tactical to an extent, but just like the stick 'em and forget 'em insta kills, I'm not such a big fan of. And I would say no easy mode sights like the tracker sight and the what was that, the target finder. The target finder almost broke Black Ops 2, how easy that was to use with a light machine gun, and you would use something like FMJ so you can shoot through the walls, and the target finder sight. If just one pixel of your head was showing, it would put a target over you and they could just see you and then wall bang you into oblivion. If you were standing too close to a wall and your foot was hanging out, you get a target on the other side. Again, very, very annoying. I don't think pros used them a whole lot. I can't remember if they were allowed or not, but in public matches it was pretty much hell when you had a team of that. Very frustrating. You had a similar thing in Ghost with the tracker sight, though not nearly as bad. The tracker sight didn't bother me a whole lot. I didn't think it was super overpowered because it was really limiting on your vision, but it did have some unusual properties, again, with like just a little bit of your back or your foot showing, and it would light up yellow, made it kind of easy for people to see you and spot you and just swap back to normal sights and spray. So you got to be careful with those advanced sights. Sometimes they're nice, like thermal or the infrared, and sometimes they're just crazy, stupidly overpowered. And if you haven't noticed in this commentary, I've been making a distinction between public and pro matches, and that's not a distinction I believe should exist anymore. I'm going to say we should copy League of Legends again, and what the pros play, the pub should play. What public matches are, that's what pros should play. A lot of people believe that these whiny-ass pros just ban this and ban that, and they ban this thing and ban that thing, and they play by these rules and those rules, to the point where the game they play doesn't even really represent what we play in public matches, and it's not fair to call them the world's best when they're not truly playing the game as it is, rather they're playing their version of the game. I believe that should go away and that there should be one single rule set. It's probably going to have to meet somewhere in between the middle of the two, and that's going to be definitely on the developers, on the design end. But I would say kind of like League of Legends. The League of Legends pro teams, the pro scene, they play by the same rules, they use the same champions, the same everything that we use at home. There's almost never any differences, and I think that's how Call of Duty should be. I should be able to load up a match and play by a standard rule set, and when we go and choose the world's best, you know, this team and that team, they should be playing by the same rule set that I do at home. That only makes it fair to call them the best, and it will help bring the community to get together to see that everybody's playing the same thing instead of a different version of the game, so to speak. So I think that would be good. I would like to see non-OP Exo Suits. A lot of people are very opposed to that because it's a more sci-fi idea, and I can definitely see the abuse. The Exo Suits don't scare me. I just think that the game would be not fun if they were crazy overpowered. Like if they were really crazy strong and they just did insane stuff. I don't believe that would be very fun. But if they just gave you little things like you get an extra sprint boost, or maybe you get one big jump every now and then, or maybe you've got long range melee, or one of them makes you stronger so you have less recoil for a certain period of time. Just, small boost to your body and to your stats I think would be really good, but really crazy strong ones like going all Spider-Man and walking up walls, I don't think that would be great for multiplayer. Or like Titanfall, where people double jump and super jump and bounce all around, because then it wouldn't be Call of Duty. It wouldn't have that relatively 2D, 2.5D kind of planar shooter feel to it. It would be a different game, which I guess it'd be good for me, but I don't think it would be overall good for the scene in general. Let's talk about kill streaks. I prefer fun kill streaks with really good counterplay, not the insta-death kill streaks. The insta-death one we'll pick on Ghost again and say is like the dog. You just call in the dog, it'll magically pop into the air somewhere nearby. It has more health than a person, and it kills you before you can really even do anything about it. Not a very great kill streak. However, there's some other ones in this game, like the air superiority. Let's say somebody calls in a whole crap load of airstreaks. You call in your air superiority and it cleans them out. Excellent counterplay. You've got your ground jammer that ruins everything. Or in Black Ops 2, they had the Hellstorm missile. You could guide it and then you could split it up into all the little parts. However, it was an actual projectile, and if you had good enough aim, you could look into the sky and snipe it or shoot it down with your assault rifle and save your entire team, which was really, really cool. Having some kind of good counterplay, like UAV, counter UAV, something like that is very nice. Maybe I'm a bit of a gore hound, maybe a bit of a horror movie freak, but is it too much to ask to get a little bit of gore in my video games? We're playing games where I shoot people in the face with 50 caliber rifles, and this one we're going to have Exo Suits that can pick up and flip cars and crush vehicles. What happens when I punch somebody in the face with that? Their head should just explode. I should just be able to grab somebody's neck and scrunch it and like rip their head right off. It is probably a little bit too on the mature side for Call of Duty, which tries to stay barely on the mature side and, you know, more at-home friendly, but it would be a nice change, kind of like some World at War. It had some gore in it, grenades, or like with the double-barrel shotgun you could blow off arms and legs, which was pretty cool. Another interesting idea that I had that I seriously doubt this is coming up, imagine on-the-go map editing, and you're like, well, what the hell is this? Think about kind of like Forge mode in Halo, except instead of us forging, let's say maps are broken. I'll use Ghosts as an example. I just compared to the most recent game, or we could do the boat map from Black Ops. I'll say like Prison Break and Ghosts. I think Prison Break is kind of a broken map. It's kind of overpowered. Once you take control of the top ground, that's it. Wouldn't it be great if the maps were built in a way to where they were relatively quick and easy to edit so that we could literally reshape the map to make it play better? It might take a week, it might take a month, 2-3 weeks, but it could be done within a relatively short period of time, and you wouldn't have to play the same maps that are what we'll call broken over and over and over again. I don't think the tool would be as useful for us to forge maps, but it would be cool to fix them quickly. As far as downloadable content goes, I would say less camos and more guns. I don't know, maybe I'm a dinosaur here, but I don't really get excited about this camo or that camo or Snoop Dogg or some of these other things like other people. I mean, some people love that stuff. They really like it, and the camos are cool and all, but I'd rather see more maps, more guns, new kill streak, something, it would have to be balanced, which is the hard thing, but something a little bit more practical and less aesthetic, though I don't believe that the game is moving toward the free-to-play model, so we're going for aesthetics. We're still testing that out. As far as the single player goes, because we're getting now toward the end of the video, I don't really know. I don't play single player a whole lot. It'd be nice to kind of have a more morally ambiguous story, like what if you aren't the good guy? What if you find out you're actually the bad guy and you have to change sides halfway through? What if the bad guy isn't all that bad? Because it's usually like, I am a big scary boogeyman, I will kill your friends, oh no, now you're coming back for revenge. Not really my thing. No more QuickTime events. Man, for the love of God, I just don't care about QuickTime events. Why does every single first-person shooter have to have QuickTime events? Can't we just skip that? Like, can I just shoot more people? I mean, I'm playing a shooter here. Length is good. Kind of like the Call of Duty campaigns. They're always pretty short. They're meant to be completed relatively quickly and kind of prepare you for online. It would be nice to have a long one. Like Wolfenstein was about a 15 to 20 hour game if you play it on a harder difficulty. Something like that would be very cool. But I have a feeling that Advanced Warfare is more multiplayer focused and isn't going to be hitting that single player quite as hard. So I wouldn't expect that, but it would be nice. That is the end of this gameplay. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed my wish list. If you have anything you'd like to add, anything you disagree with me about, be sure to let me know down there in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. And there is my 50 bomb. Drifter out.